Are you looking for a book to work with kids about some daily struggles as well as a possible resource that you can use virtually? Today I'm going to cover an awesome workbook that fits that. Hello and welcome to the Social Workers Bookshelf. My name is Stephanie, and today we are going to be covering the CBT Toolbox for Children and Adolescents. I have been utilizing this book quite a bit during our virtual telemental health due to COVID, and I love it because it covers quite a few different daily living skills and cognitive behaviors that we should be learning with, as well as specific diagnosis and maybe how to teach those skills to those kiddos. So let's dive right into the book, and I'll show you some of my favorite things.
Okay. As you can see, this book is well loved and well marked, but I just want to show you a couple pages that I really liked. So let's get to the table of contents. Super important. All of these are under different categories. So this is childhood trauma, and it has all of these things under just childhood trauma. You're going to find a worksheet to do all of these things with. So cognitive skills, the CBT triangle, ouch story, so kind of that trauma narrative, relationship coaching, all these different things for just childhood trauma. And it has a bunch of different things. So it's got ADHD, autism spectrum disorder, conduct disorder, anxiety, depression, and that. So each one has the basis of cognitive skills, relationship coaching, competency skills, and brain-based learning. So those are kind of the basis for every single section. So for every single disorder about those, you're going to be teaching the same kind of things. And it kind of breaks down why they did that and how to use it. They recommend in-session exercises. They also recommend for client activities and caregiver worksheets. So these are things you can assign to home or do in session with parents and kids, which I think is awesome. And obviously it's saying think outside the page, go beyond the activity. So this isn't something that you just want to go through the book and this is all you do with whatever kid, you're like, oh, I have trauma, let me get through section 1 and be done. No, this is something that you can kind of add to your practice and really exhilarate some of the learning. I mainly do TFCBT, and I'm utilizing these worksheets to enhance that. I'm going beyond just childhood trauma. I am using the autism pages for the kids I'm doing TFCBT with who have autism. I'm really trying to utilize this book as much as I can to enhance that, which I think is important for every workbook. So it's got some pages that I'm going to show you that I like. A nice safety plan for trauma. So triggers, reminders, warning signs, how do you feel safe? I like this because it looks a little less intimidating than a safety plan maybe for adults that we're all used to using. I like it. It's just a nice, easy one. It's not super hard and difficult. It has these really cute little graphics for things, easy worksheets. Here is a caregiver one that I wanted to show. Sorry, I have all these sticky notes. Having a caregiver perspective, this or that, or versus that, sorry. So what are some positive that you can identify about your child? What are these positives or things that you would like to see? What are the negatives behaviors that you identify? What are these negatives or things you don't want to see or do not like to see? What is the biggest change you'd like to see as it relates to your child? What are some things that you think you can improve on as a caregiver? What are some things that you do well as a caregiver? Easy worksheet to give to a parent. The nice thing with this, it usually, pretty much almost always, has a corresponding page for the kid. So same things you could send home or have your kids, clients, and parents do together. What are some positives that you can identify about your caregiver? Why do you like these things? What are some things you don't like about your parent or caregiver doing? Why don't you like these things? What's the biggest change you would like to see? What are behaviors you would identify as negative within yourself? Why do you think these are negative behaviors? What do you think you do well? Amazing worksheet to do with both of them so they can kind of see the similarities and differences and maybe understand some of the communication barriers, right? So that's the childhood trauma. When thinking about, I remember why I highlighted this one so much, when thinking about going beyond the page, beyond the activity, I love this idea of building a bridge, right? Build part 1, how do I feel now? Part 2, how will I feel after healing? And then the next page is going to tell you to physically have the kid build a bridge. So you would have, ideally, in person, these 2 forms. They would draw or create their things. You'd have them separate and they would build a physical bridge. In telemental health, that's not going to happen right now, right? So this is when I can think beyond this page, beyond this activity. I can have them do a sand tray activity via the virtual sand tray stuff to create past and future, right? Or present and future, and then a bridge. I could have them do art on my Paint app where they split it up and they do that in a bridge, right? Thinking beyond the page and creating these activities to really be more obtainable. I could do this with Legos when I'm in person, when I do Lego therapy. So many different things. So it has each thing for the trauma stuff, and I'm trying to find again, super cute graphics. Trying to find where the beginning is there for you. There it is. So it's got little things that you can maybe print and cut out. Absolutely love anything that connects body with emotions, right? Okay, so that would be like that's one whole section, right? One whole section just about trauma, and then it'll go to your ADHD, right? It'll explain kind of what it's going through. Just kind of flip through and show you some of my favorite things on this. ADHD. I love this. Just because we think it doesn't mean we should say it. So kind of like a game you could play, right? Say it or swallow it. I like how you did your hair today. Do you say it? Do you swallow it? So awesome ideas that you can make into games. There is one. I absolutely love this idea. And I of course cut it off with my sticky. Staying on topic. This is something that a therapist can use during your sessions. So you could put like a little arrow saying, yep, you're doing good. You're on topic with those ADHD clients, right? You're going off topic. So I think that's an awesome visual. Mainly why I like this book. Lots of nice whole body games, different stuff for each thing. Definitely just love the visual of it and all the different ideas. Trying to get to my sticky. Another lovely visual with the circle, things out of my control, things in my control. This is for anxiety. Again, something that I would probably do with art therapy while I'm doing virtual is trying to get from point A to point B, start moving through the maze, and in the dead ends, identify and write and draw difficulties, bad thoughts, worries, and what could prevent you from getting the finish line. I've done this with kids on virtually in art, and it's been really successful, which I love. So one of the things I wanted to share was how would I do this virtually, right? I keep talking about virtual. It's something we have to kind of do now as therapists due to the things going on, right? So I'm going to take maybe a couple of these examples. So Anxiety the Alien is talking about anxiety and making an alien of what anxiety might look like, right? And then thinking about thoughts and behaviors that lead it to get bigger and bigger. So what I would do with this, there's so many different options, right? I could just do this in art in my Paint app and say, it could be completely blank and say, okay, draw your anxiety alien, and that could feed. What I also could do is I could scan these pages and upload them on my computer and share my screen. So maybe some of these things, like this one's more artsy, but maybe one of the worksheets, here we go, like something like this, I could scan, have it up on my share screen, and depending what telemental health technology you're using, I use Zoom, I can share screen and then I can let the kid type. So I can give them remote control and I can create type text boxes. So I can pull one up and say, okay, type this in and have them do that for these worksheets. I can even have them draw in my telehealth Zoom apps, right? So an amazing resource. Some of these, what I thought for this one, sleep schedule, I could copy and send it to the kid to complete, right? I'm not there for the sleep. They might not remember, but this is something I could scan and email to my client and they could print it and write in it and take a picture and send it back, right? So an amazing resource to be able to utilize, whether in person or virtually. I've just noticed that during my time as a virtual therapist, I've reached for this a lot more and I'm utilizing it a lot more because it is so visually pleasing and easy to do, especially when you're in a rut and you just need something to kind of really concrete some of that learning, or you need some ideas. This is what you can go to, right? Great resource.
Well, I hoped you liked my deep dive into the CBT Toolbox book. I really, really like it. As you can see, there's some great forms that you can utilize, whether in person. I am also going to be utilizing them as scanning the documents and allowing them to be used when I share the screen on Zoom and having the kids fill them out or talk through them together. So I think it's a great book to utilize in both ways. And I will definitely be utilizing it more and more as we go on with telemental health. If you like these reviews, please comment below with any additional books that you think would be a great thing for me to review. Also, like and subscribe to my channel if you're interested. Thanks.